The scenario is classic. You give yourself body and soul, putting all your feelings into someone, and what do you get in return? Petty games and indifference. It's gut-wrenching, isn't it? It's like getting slapped in the soul without even blinking, and all that's left is such a big void that it feels like it's going to swallow you whole. But today, let's delve into this emotional whirlwind and understand how a guy's disinterest can leave a woman completely shattered. It's as if he's playing with fire without caring about the flames he's consuming. And what's left? A broken heart and a torn soul, trying to piece together the fragments of shattered pride. Let's begin. First point, your independence is irritating. One of the things that inflates a woman's ego is realizing that a man needs her to be happy. How dare he imply that she is the center of his world? How dare he drop everything when things aren't going well for her? This gives the woman undeniable power, a sense of absolute control over the other. She feels entitled to act however she wants. After all, the man will be there, always available. However, it is with disgust and indignation that I highlight that this dynamic can be harmful to the relationship. When a man puts the woman's happiness and contentment above everything else, he submits, emotionally nullifies himself. He relentlessly seeks her approval, shaping his own life according to her whims. How can someone be so independent? How can they show that their life is full and rich on its own? That they have interests, passions, and goals that do not depend on the constant presence of the woman? This deeply irritates the woman, especially one who is used to being the center of attention, the queen of the male universe. Women who think highly of themselves, those creatures pampered by male attention, are surprised and furious when confronted with a man who diminishes that attention. How dare he leave her in the shadow, in the darkness of uncertainty? This provokes a consuming anger, making her question what makes her special enough to deserve his attention. Second point, the anguish of losing control. Most women have a secret desire to be in control, even if it doesn't seem so at first glance. They use subtle tactics to maintain control, unlike men who are more direct. Women get what they want from a man without needing to ask. But when they realize that their tactics no longer work, that they can no longer manipulate as before, the feeling of losing control overwhelms them. This feeling is like a blow to the ego, because they feel they can no longer influence you as they were used to. With this loss of control, they engage in a battle to regain the authority they thought they had over you. Behind this conflict, there is a complex dance of emotions. It oscillates between frustration and determination, trying to understand exactly where things went wrong. Every word left unsaid, every inadvertent gesture is examined in their minds for an answer. They question if they lost the ability to understand you, if they didn't notice the signs that something was changing. And in the midst of this whirlwind of doubts, the fear of losing you forever is like a knife that cuts deeply into their hearts. When a man shows disinterest, it is he who takes control, and that's when the female ego takes a hard blow. The feeling of being sidelined, of no longer being in control of the relationship, is devastating. They find themselves faced with a challenge: regain control or accept defeat. If you want this woman to be at your feet, you must take control of the relationship and show that you are a fundamental pillar, someone to be respected and followed. But keep in mind that this is not about manipulation, but genuine leadership. Third point, indifference towards her beauty. As I mentioned earlier, when a woman's ego is wounded by a man's lack of interest, it directly affects her self-esteem, especially if she is extremely beautiful, the kind that always attracts looks and suitors. When her beauty isn't enough to capture a man's attention, and he shows that he can easily walk away, it generates a feeling of helplessness. She tries in every possible way to get attention, wanting to demonstrate that he is the one losing out, not her. It's as if she's silently pleading for recognition, for validation. A woman with a wounded ego is easily recognizable because her actions deviate from the norm, all with the goal of attracting the attention of the seemingly indifferent man. She throws herself into a frenzy of attempts, desperately seeking a connection that seems to be fading. Every gesture, every word, is a desperate attempt to regain what seems to be slipping through her fingers. It's a delicate dance between self-assertion and vulnerability, where the beauty that once was a weapon now seems to be only a fragile shield against indifference. The woman tries to reinvent herself, find ways to stand out from the crowd, hoping that her efforts will finally be recognized. But deep down, the pain of invisibility persists, echoing in every frustrated attempt to grab the attention of the one who seems not to notice her beauty. Fourth point, equality of worth. What a common scene it is when a man bows before a woman who considers herself superior. He gets into a relationship with her, knowing that he is an object of admiration for other men and aware of her elevated self-esteem. However, feeling insecure in comparison to her, the man tends to constantly praise her and belittle himself. This need to elevate the woman seeks to compensate for his own lack of confidence. But you see, this approach often doesn't result as expected. When a man is constantly belittling himself, he ends up creating an unequal dynamic in the relationship. The woman who has already put herself on a pedestal begins to see him as someone without self-esteem, someone who doesn't deserve respect. This can lead to loss of interest and imbalance in the relationship. Contrary to what many think, putting yourself on the same level isn't about competing for superiority. It's about recognizing and valuing yourself, your own qualities and merits, while also acknowledging and valuing the qualities of the woman. It's about maintaining a healthy balance and a relationship based on mutual respect. When you position yourself on the same level, you show that you are secure in yourself, which is much more attractive than constant submission. It also encourages the woman to recognize her own humanity, her virtues and imperfections. Instead of creating an environment where the woman feels pressured to artificially maintain her self-esteem, you allow her to be authentic and true. In summary, the best way to build a healthy relationship is to put yourself on the same level, demonstrating confidence in yourself and recognizing the equality of worth between you and the woman. This creates a solid foundation for a genuine and lasting connection. And so, we come to the end. I hope this video has helped you understand not only the challenges of relationships, but also how self-love and acceptance can change everything. Let's learn to value who we are, to build relationships with respect and care, and to pursue our own happiness. Now it's time to move forward, armed with what we've learned, ready to face the ups and downs of love with courage. Always remember, we are not alone. Together we can overcome any challenge that arises. Until next time,